Part 197. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1962. Wen Wen looked back at her live broadcast room and said to Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan. However, I still like live broadcasting very much. I really can't bear to leave here. If I leave, what will happen to my more than 16 million fans? They won't let me go. You don't need to leave, Zhang Xiangbei said. You can set up a live broadcast room in Beijing, and you can still find time to live broadcast every day. You just need to transfer to Zaixian Delivery. I will tell my godmother, Wen from Colorful Network, Wen's live broadcast room has been reserved for you, and you can continue to live broadcast in Beijing. Are you sick? Wen Wen said. I have planned to build logistics bases with half an acre of land in Beijing and Tianjin. Do you know how busy it will be? How many things will happen every day? Where will I have time to broadcast live? No, Zhang Xiangbei said, if you stop the live broadcast room, I won't be able to bear it. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I often watch your live broadcasts, and I am also your biggest fan. Wen Wen opened her eyes wide and asked, Really? Really? Tell me, what's your name? Zhang Xiangbei scratched his head and said, You will definitely not know that my level is very low. Then have you ever given me a gift? Wen Wen asked. Zhang Xiangbei was embarrassed, shook his head and said no. Let me go, is there anyone who is so stingy? Wen Wen shouted. She turned to Wu Huan and said, You said Wu Huan, what kind of future would he have if he followed such a stingy boss? I don't think so. Stop it, just come and do the live broadcast with me. Wu Huan laughed and said that Mr. Zhang is not stingy at all, but he will never spend money he shouldn't spend. Wen Wen's eyes widened, and Wu Huan quickly waved his hand and said, No, no, I didn't say that in your live broadcast room, giving you gifts is a waste of money. Zhang Xiangbei immediately took over and said, I will definitely give it to you next time. I will give you a plane and park it on the tarmac. No more, Wen Wen waved her hand, I don't care about this kind of gift. Hercules flatters me every day and wants to send me a plane, but I scold him. Go to hell, send it chicken feather, what kind of plane are you doing? Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan laughed. Wen Wen and Zhang Xiangbei said, By the way, I haven't finished what I said before. You can continue. Zhang Xiangbei said, We can assign you 2 assistants. When you are away, the assistant will help you take care of the live broadcast room. After you finish your work every day, you will come in for half an hour and 1 hour. Don't set a timer. Anyway, I didn't see it. You can look back and just talk about your day. Wen Wen waved her 2 palms upward together, shouting, Then all my fans will be gone, and I'm still live broadcasting this shit. No, no, definitely not. If you have something that others don't have, fans will definitely follow it every day, just like watching a TV series, Zhang Xiangbei said. What is it that others don't have? I have 3 hands and 6 fingers, Wen Wen asked, then waved her hands in front of their eyes. You see clearly, I don't have either. No, that's what I think. You see, other people's live broadcast rooms are all about singing, dancing, being cute, being mean, or selling things. By the way, Zhang Xiangbei said. What am I doing? Doing push-ups in a bikini? I can maintain my figure pretty well, Wen Wen said. No, Zhang Xiangbei said, you talk about your experience every day. When you went to Beijing this time, you started a company from scratch. Is this starting a business? You just tell everyone how you started your business. Come on, how did you make your company big from scratch? JD.com wants to start a war. Okay, then live broadcast how you started a war with JD.com. Who among the other anchors can do this? As Zhang Xiangbei spoke, Wen Wen's eyes lit up, then widened, and Zhang Xiangbei continued. I've even thought of a name for the live broadcast room. It's called Wen Wen Entrepreneurship. There will be one episode a day. You can share your results with others in the live broadcast room every day. You can also complain, and show your truest side. Showing it to the audience also opens up the entire process of starting a business for everyone to see. When you encounter difficulties, you can also ask them to help you come up with ideas. Nowadays, people want to get rich and start their own business. But I don't have the courage. It's good to see someone sharing the joys and sorrows of starting a business with them every day, especially when I see such a beautiful and smart anchor like you start a business. Well, will that attract a lot of people? Other anchors can't do this even if they want to, right? Ween Wen looked at Zhang Xiangbei, then at Wu Huan, and Wu Huan nodded. Ween Wen looked at Zhang Xiangbei, then at Wu Huan, and suddenly laughed. This is good, this is really good, Bai Bei. I didn't expect you and your father to be the same, and you just came up with one wrong idea. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, moreover, you are starting a business and live broadcasting at the same time. This is an advertisement for our Xixian delivery. How can I bear to use such a good advertisement? I can guarantee that it will not be used for long. Every community you go to will have your fans waiting for you at the door. You don't need to persuade the property management company. If the property management company doesn't sign an agreement with you, your fans will stop. If you do this, can you get twice the result with half the effort? Can you be invincible? When Jingdong feels that something is wrong, even if it calls out the milk tea girl to confront you, it will not be able to withstand your offensive. Okay, let's do this. Grandma, I'll go talk to Lu Yun tomorrow, Ween Wen said. Zhang Xiangbei said, no, I already told my godmother before I came here. She agreed to transfer you here, as long as you agree. Ween Wen stared at Zhang Xiangbei, her cheeks puffed up, she puffed out a breath and said angrily. It's over, it's over. It looks like my whole life is going to be ruined at the hands of your family. Look, I first worked as an agent for Xiang Nan, then as an agent for your father, and then helped him plan the establishment of Beijing and Tianjin. Logistics base, Zhang Xiangbei, now, I have to work for you again, it's over, it's over. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan laughed. Wu Huan said, Sister Ween Wen, then we have settled like this. Ween Wen said angrily, can I still escape? Wu Huan asked, then when can you go to Beijing? It's not about fighting. How do you say that? Speedy soldiers are more expensive. Of course I want to pick the expensive one and leave tomorrow, Ween Wen said. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan both felt their stomachs hurt from laughing. Ween Wen pointed to the live broadcast room and said, I'm going to make a preview and tell everyone that I'm going to Beijing to start a business. Starting tomorrow, I can only broadcast live broadcasts through mobile phone videos for the time being. A week later, Ween Wen's entrepreneurship will officially start broadcasting in Beijing. Zhang Xiangbei said yes, and the two stood up to say goodbye. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan returned to Xixian delivery and found that Zhang Chen and the others were still there. Zhang Xiangbei felt strange and asked, why are you still here? Why, if we can't sit here for a while longer, are you going to drive us away? Zhang Chen asked. Zhang Xiangbei said quickly, no, it's already past 11 o'clock. Bai Bei, we are all waiting for news from you. Lu Yun said that you can definitely convince Ween Wen. How about it? Have you convinced her? Lin Shuwen asked. Zhang Xiangbei smiled, Wu Huan said that he was convinced, and Ween Wen would leave tomorrow. No way, Ween Wen doesn't want to do live broadcasts anymore, Lu Yunkai said, she likes to do live broadcasts very much. Every time I come back to the company, she has to show off to me and say how many more fans she has increased. You are so free and easy, and you just throw away more than 10 million fans that you have worked so hard to accumulate. Wu Huan waved her hands repeatedly. She told everyone how Zhang Xiangbei persuaded Ween Wen. Everyone laughed. Lu Yun said. then Wenwen will definitely not be able to resist this temptation. She is a person who likes challenges. The next day, Wenwen set off for Beijing with 2 assistants. One of these 2 assistants helped her manage the live broadcast room, and the other helped her set up the northern branch of Zhangxiangxian. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan went to the airport to see her off. After completing the check-in procedures, Wenwen asked the 2 assistants to go through the security check first. She, Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan stood at the security checkpoint to say goodbye. Wenwen said, "You two are so grand. If I don't do well in Beijing, I won't have the shame to come back." Zhang Xiangbei said, "You can definitely do it well. There is no strong man that you can't win, and there is no one that you can't chew. Of hard bones." Wu Huan laughed, and Wenwen scolded, "I'm going to die, no matter how big or small, you come to make fun of me. Don't you dare, Aunt Wenwen, you haven't seen that when I said you were going to Beijing last night, everyone felt relieved. Who else would Beijing give you? By the way, what's wrong with you in Beijing? You don't need to call us all the time to ask for instructions. You are more familiar with Beijing than we are." Zhang Xiangbei said to Wenwen. Wu Huan nodded and said yes. Wenwen looked at Zhang Xiangbei and said, "You can talk better than your father, and you can talk better than Nanan." Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile, "Of course, I am a promiscuous person." "What kind of society do you belong to?" Wenwen said, "Aren't you from a prestigious university?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "When I was studying, I dealt with gangsters of all colors from all over the world every day. I have seen more gangsters than you." It was almost time. Wenwen hugged Wu Huan, and then hugged Zhang Xiangbei. When hugging Zhang Xiangbei, Wenwen said, "Why do you still feel a little tragic?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "Don't worry, Aunt Wenwen, you are not fighting alone, there are us behind you." Wenwen laughed loudly and said, "I think you are not a member of the society. You are with Lu Ligan. You are a combination of Lu Ligan and your father. No, no, there is also Xiao Fang. You are as smart as her. Let's go, look at me." Wenwen waved her hand and walked towards the security checkpoint without looking back. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan stood there. Wu Huan sighed and said, "Wenwen is right. It's a bit tragic, a bit like a hero who is gone and never comes back. However, with Wenwen going to Beijing, I feel very at ease." Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said, "Yes, starting from tonight, we will fight against the odds every day. Thank you to Tin Soldier, 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, 2 fishes, and book friend 2017042113074205 for the reward. Thank you Dragon King 123,777, Sand Mood, Zipanjiang 1, Wind Jungle Spinach, Tianying 1978, Book Friends 2018080302563504 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 1963. After dinner, it was not yet 7 o'clock, and no one informed us, but Zhang Xiangbei, Wu Huan, Zhou Ruyi, Wu Yu, etc., as well as many employees who had finished get-off work, did not go back, and all gathered on the second floor at the same time. In a hall, this is their command and dispatch center. There is a huge map of China on the wall of the dispatch center. There are several areas on the map, like nebulae, shining with bright spots. Each bright spot represents a vehicle transporting vegetables. Each vehicle there will be a GPS locator on the road. When the car starts moving, this bright spot will start to move. From here, you can see the real-time status of all their vehicles. Starting tonight, these bright spots will spread out from those areas, then spread across the map and concentrate on the 3 cities of Shanghai, Nanjing, and Hangzhou. Where those bright spots disappear, new bright spots will soon appear continuously, and the bright spots on the road will also move in an endless stream. Starting from the movement of the first bright spot tonight, in the end, these bright spots will fill the entire China. The south-central area of the map, like the starry sky, will never disappear again. This is their territory, their battlefield, and what Zhang Xiangbei said is the place where they must fight to the bitter end. These shining stars on the map are even more dazzling than the stars in the sky. The stars can only be seen at night, but the bright spots on the map are constantly moving during the day. Everyone's eyes are fixed on the map on the wall. At this time, all the bright spots are motionless. They are staring and waiting, just to witness the first moving bright spot and see where it starts. As long as there is a bright spot, starting to move means that their hard preparations over the past few months have finally come to fruition, which means that their career has truly begun. Damn it, I'm so nervous. Are you nervous? Zhou Ruyi asked, and everyone laughed. They were embarrassed to answer this question, but in fact they were still just as nervous. I'm nervous, more nervous than watching the Chinese Football World Cup qualifiers. Wu Yu said that many people immediately scoffed. Some people said that the Chinese team's performance had been very stable and they were so nervous that they would lose anyway. What if we win? Wu Yu retorted. It's even more annoying to win. If you win a game and you see how complacent they all are, they might as well lose, someone immediately shouted. Time passed minute by minute, and it was already past 7:30 in the evening. The bright spots on the wall were still motionless. Everyone felt a little exhausted from waiting. Zhou Ruyi asked Wu Huan. Is there any mistake? It starts tonight, right? Wu Huan rolled his eyes at her. This is all wrong. Do you think we are pigs? I'm a pig, Zhou Ruyi said, but why don't they move at all? Wu Yu, could it be that your display is broken? Or is their GPS positioning unable to connect? If it breaks, I'll give you my head, Wu Yu said. Why the hell do I need your head? Your flat head is not even round when you kick it into a ball, Zhou Ruyi said. Fat Sun has a round head, someone shouted. Everyone laughed, and Zhou Ruyi glared at that person. It's moving. It's moving. Look quickly. Someone shouted loudly, but there was no need for him to shout. Everyone saw a bright spot moving in the light spot in the upper left corner. Everyone couldn't help but applaud. Zhang Xiangbei said to them. It's Ping Gluo, Xiang Yun. How do you know? Zhou Ruyi asked. Wu Huan's phone rang, she looked at it and shouted, Xiang Yun. The entire hall fell silent. Wu Huan pressed the speaker phone, and Xiang Yun's voice came from the phone. Mr. Wu, the first car I have here has already set off, and I am loading the second car now. I saw it, Wu Huan said. You were the first to set off. Xiang Yun, where are you? I'm in Pingluo, Guo Chenglei is in Gaiwan, and he's about to leave there, Xiang Yun said. Just as he was talking, the second bright spot began to move. No need to ask, it must have started from Gaiwan. The hall couldn't help but burst into applause for the second time. Xiang Evian asked on the phone. Mr. Wu, what are you doing? Why are there so many people? Wu Huan said with a smile, everyone is waiting for you to set off. Just now, Guo Chenglei also set off. Xiang Evian, you moved our first bright spot. From now on, the bright spot on this map will no longer be there, will be time to stop. Xiang Evian chuckled, I am the champion, that's awesome. Congratulations, Xiang Evian. Zhang Xiangbei came over and shouted at Wu Huan's cell phone, saying to Evian, thank you, thank you. Next, in the light spot in the lower left corner, there were also bright spots moving. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan said, it's Chu Zheng. Everyone was waiting for Wu Huan's phone to ring again, but Wu Huan's phone was silent. Wu Huan looked at Zhang Xiangbei and said, is Zheng Mingshan so calm? Wu Huan couldn't help it any longer. She dialed the number of Zheng Mingshan, general manager of their Zaixian delivery Yunnan branch. Zheng Mingshan said on the other end of the phone. Mr. Wu, the first car has already left, and there are 2 more cars behind it. I originally thought that I would call Wu Huan after all 3 cars have left, but I didn't expect you to call first. Wu Huan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She said, okay, it's better for you to sit tight on Diao Tai. I can't hold myself back anymore and I can't help but call you. Zheng Mingshan laughed loudly on the other end of the phone. He said, I just want to seize the time and go to dinner after sending the car. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Okay, then I won't delay your departure, Wu Huan said. Putting down the phone, Wu Huan looked at everyone, and everyone laughed. The bright spots in the upper left corner and lower left corner began to move continuously, and the hall became lively again. Everyone was guessing whether the car from Pingluo, Ningxia, would leave the province first to Shaanxi, or the car from Qujing, Yunnan, leave the province first and go to Guizhou. Judging from the map, the bright spot in the upper left corner should be farther away from Shaanxi, and the bright spot in the lower left corner is closer to Guizhou. Everyone said that there is no need to compare. The train in Qujing must be faster. Only Zhang Xiangbei said, no, I said it was Pingluo's car and it would arrive in Shaanxi first. What the hell, do you think it's the truth that you are the boss? Zhou Ruyi said, come on, let's bet on milk tea, little by little, whoever loses invites everyone to drink milk tea, I'll bet with you. Zhang Xiangbei said yes, and everyone cheered. Wu Huan and Zhou Ruyi said, I'll side with you, and the 2 of us will bet with him. Zhou Ruyi said yes. Wu Yu, will you take part? Wu Yu nodded. Okay, 3 against 1, you are the second generation of rich people anyway, Zhou Ruyi and Zhang Xiangbei said. There are now 70 or 80 people in the hall. If one person has a cup, it will cost 70 or 80 cups. They have finished the preparations here. There is nothing else to do except staring at the screen on the wall. They are just waiting for the highlights on the map to approach them little by little. Wait until the car drives into the logistic space and stops at when they arrive at the door, their place will immediately become busy, and now is their most free time. Count people, count people, count people. Zhou Ruyi shouted, and the final result was 84 people. Wu Huan said, just order 100 cups, there will definitely be more people coming. Zhou Ruyi picked up her mobile phone and ordered 100 cups of milk tea. As soon as the order was sent, the caller came over. The other party asked Zhou Ruyi if she had made a mistake and if she really ordered 100 cups of milk tea. Zhou Ruyi said, yes, can you do it? The other party quickly said yes, yes, we will close the business and supply it to your family. It may take a little longer. It doesn't matter, it takes as long as it takes, Zhou Ruyi said. After hanging up the phone, Zhou Ruyi and Zhang Xiangbei said, 1003, please forward it to me via WeChat later. TCH, I won't lose, Zhang Xiangbei said disdainfully. After more than half an hour, everyone present felt that something was wrong. The bright spot in the lower left corner was obviously moving slower than the bright spot in the upper left corner. It used to look like the upper left corner was far away from Shaanxi, but now it seems that the distance is about the same. Zhou Ruyi got a little anxious and shouted, damn it, Qujing, can't you hurry up? Are you asleep? Others also cheered, Qujing. Qujing. But the bright spot was not in a hurry and ignored them at all. After more than half an hour, the bright spot in the upper left corner was about to reach the provincial border of Shaanxi. The lower left corner was still some distance away from Guizhou. Zhou Ruyi and Wu Huan, they both felt that the situation was over, and the 2 of them were a little depressed, but Zhang Xiangbei looked at them and smiled proudly. You smile so treacherously, is there something fishy about you? Zhou Ruyi asked Zhang Xiangbei, then turned to ask Wu Yu, did you flatter him and turn the top up faster? Wu Yu scolded, idiot, I also bet on Qujing. If you lose, I will lose. Can you adjust this? Go and adjust it for me. Zhang Xiangbei laughed loudly and said, I knew from the beginning that I was sure to win. Do you want to tell you why? Zhou Ruyi and Wu Huan and Wu Yu both said they wanted to, and Zhang Xiangbei said, I have walked both roads, and I have also made records. On the expressway from Qujing to Guizhou, the speed limit for large trucks is 80 kilometers. On the expressway from Pingluo to Shaanxi, the speed limit for large trucks is 100 kilometers. For cars taking the Green Channel, the speed limit for large trucks is 100 kilometers. No one will speed or overload. If you are caught, the toll will not be reduced, do you understand? Everyone suddenly realized, Zhou Ruyi said, there is information asymmetry, you still cheated. I lied to you because you didn't know anything, so you jumped up and wanted to bet with others. Who will lose if you don't lose? Zhang Xiangbei cursed. When the milk tea came, more and more light spots moved on the wall. Everyone took the milk tea and dispersed. Only Zhou Ruyi was still sitting there, staring blankly at the wall. Zhang Xiangbei asked, Zhou Ruyi, it's not like that. You won't be able to think about it just because you lost the bet, right? Go away, I'm fascinated by this. It's so beautiful. This is our future, Zhou Ruyi said, I sit here and I feel like I can't see enough. Nervous, go back, don't you have an early flight to Guangzhou tomorrow? Go back and rest quickly, Zhang Xiangbei said. Zhou Ruyi stood up and walked away angrily. Zhang Xiangbei sat there, staring at the screen on the wall. He also felt that these moving highlights were so beautiful. After a while, Wu Huan walked out of the office, saw Zhang Xiangbei, and smiled. After a while, she also sat down, and neither of them spoke, just staring at the screen on the wall. In his heart, Zhang Xiangbei thought about the road he had traveled. Now, on these roads, there are many bright spots, moving towards him. Very nice. Thank you for the reward for ranking third from top to reading the book every day. Thank you, don't take it too seriously, Alan May, Zonda RR, and the book is a monthly pass for a pack of medicine. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 1964. The truck that set off from Qujing has also arrived in Guizhou, and more bright spots are moving on the map. In Ningxia, not only the bright spots of Shizuishan and Gaiwan are moving, but also Zhongwei, Wuzhong, and Yinchuan. Start moving. In Yunnan, in addition to Qujing, the highlights of Zhaotong, Yuxi, Wenshan, Honghe, and Chukshan have also begun to move. Zhang Xiangbei recited these names silently, feeling that the map on the wall was like a sleeping person beginning to wake up. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan were sitting there. The orange highlights presented a hazy dreamlike scene, which took their thoughts far away. Just watching and thinking about it made people mesmerized. Drunk. Zhang Xiangbei raised his phone, took a video of the map on the wall, and sent it to Xiangnan. Immediately, Xiangnan asked, "What is this?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "Look at the moving red dot on the map, it is our vegetable truck starting to set off." "Really, really, I saw it," dear Xiangnan replied, adding a kissing emoji, and Zhang Xiangbei also responded with one. Zhou Ruyi came up from downstairs and looked at Zhang Xiangbei and Wu laughing happily. Zhang Xiangbei asked, "Why haven't you left yet?" "Yes, I'm back again," Zhou Ruyi said with a smile, "I couldn't stay home any longer. I took a shower and picked up my luggage, and came over right away. I'll leave from here for the airport early tomorrow morning." Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan both laughed. Zhou Ruyi turned to look at the map on the wall and shouted, "There are already so many cars leaving? How awesome!" After a while, he said frustratedly, "If I had known this, I would have gone to Guangzhou today. What's wrong? Wu Huan asked. That way, I can catch up with the first train from Guangdong, Zhou Ruyi said. If Zhou Ruyi didn't go back, Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan also didn't go back. They took a shower in the company and prepared to spend the whole night in the office, so that when they wanted to take a look, they could run out to the hall and take a look. The two people returned to the hall and sat down next to Zhou Ruyi. Look, Wenwen is online. Wu Huan shouted. Zhang Xiangbei leaned over and saw that Wenwen had indeed started broadcasting in the live broadcast room. Wenwen told everyone that she had successfully arrived in Beijing today and had settled in the Beijing logistics base in half an acre of field. Baby, didn't you miss me? There were kisses and flowers below, and someone said a series of I miss you. Wenwen told everyone that she decided to advance Wenwen's entrepreneurship a week and start live broadcasting today. The 666 below. Wenwen told everyone that when she arrived in Beijing today, the first thing she did was to go to the Market Administration Bureau to get a form. She would start industrial and commercial registration tomorrow. She typed a recruitment notice in the live broadcast room, saying that she would start from tomorrow. To start recruiting workers, there are people in Beijing and Tianjin who want to work in their company. Please sign up as soon as possible. What they urgently need to recruit are HR, accountants, cashiers, drivers and marketing specialists. Those with experience will be given priority. Please help me, please help them forward the signboard notice to their WeChat friends. At the same time, Wenwen left a phone number and told everyone that this is a consultation phone number. You can call this number 24 hours a day for consultation about recruitment. This is a work number. Don't call me for a chat. If you have an embarrassing conversation, I will immediately turn against you and kick you out. No matter what level of membership you are, don't make trouble for me. Wenwen put on a straight face and spoke to everyone seriously, then burst into laughter. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei also laughed. Wu Huan said, "You are so fast. Wenwen really only chooses the expensive ones." Zhang Xiangbei laughed loudly. Zhou Ruyi didn't know what the joke was. When she asked them, Wu Huan explained to her how Wenwen interpreted soldiers are more valuable and faster. Zhou Ruyi also laughed and said, "Damn it, I should only choose the expensive ones." In the middle of the night, they went to the cafeteria for a late-night snack. At this point, the lights began to go out one by one and people fell asleep. However, it was the busiest time of the entire logistics space. The lights in the huge logistics space were all bright. It was bright and clear, and from outside the gate, large trucks kept coming in one after another, heading towards each warehouse. There are also empty trucks and delivery trucks from the logistics space, constantly driving towards the gate. They saw that there were more than a dozen vehicles parked at the entrance of Wu Ziyawai's courier company, waiting to unload. Zhang Xiangbei saw from a distance that Wu Ziyawai was running back and forth, shouting and directing the vehicles. "The night after tomorrow, it will be our turn," Wu Huan said. Yes, Zhang Xiangbei and Zhou Ruyi both thought happily, it's our turn. Zhang Xiangbei took a nap in the office. When he woke up and looked at his watch, it was already past 3 o'clock. He walked out and saw Zhou Ruyi sitting alone in the hall, holding an iPad mini in her hand and plugging an iPad into her ear. Headphones, he was looking down at something and mumbling something. Zhang Xiangbei walked over and saw that she was learning Cantonese. Zhou Ruyi saw Zhang Xiangbei and took off her headphones. Zhang Xiangbei asked, "Why don't you take a nap?" "I can't sleep, I've already arrived in Shaanxi." Zhou Ruyi said that Zhang Xiangbei looked up and found that the fastest vehicle from Ningxia had entered Shaanxi, and Shaanxi and Guizhou were now lit up by stars. "What are you doing?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "Learn the language of birds." Zhou Ruyi shook the iPad mini in her hand and said to Zhang Xiangbei, "I heard that Cantonese people are very discriminatory towards people who cannot speak bird language. If I don't learn it, No one will pay attention to me in the community, right? Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, okay, when you come back from Guangdong, your mantra will no longer be what the hell, but it will beat your lungs. It beats your lungs, Zhou Ruyi scolded Zhang Xiangbei, and both of them laughed. Zhou Ruyi, let me ask you something, Zhang Xiangbei said. Zhou Ruyi nodded, you say. Did you study English so hard during the college entrance examination? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Zhou Ruyi thought about it seriously and said, not really. At that time, my parents had actually lost confidence in me. My dad told me that all I had to do in the college entrance examination was to do my best, so I would just do my best. Damn it! The test was taken randomly. It's amazing. You can take the exam randomly and get into Xiaosha instead of going to some vocational and technical college in the mountains. Of course, that's why my parents say that I perform beyond my level. Zhou Ruyi shouted, Zhang Xiangbei, what do you mean? I don't think I'm a good person when I get serious. It's just that I never take it seriously. Zhang Xiangbei said quickly, okay, I think you are quite serious this time, including fatty, which surprises me. Just tremble. The desire of us poor people to become masters is beyond the imagination of a rich second generation like you. Zhou Ruyi rolled her eyes at Zhang Xiangbei, who laughed. At around 6 o'clock, Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan were going to see Zhou Ruyi off to the airport together. Zhou Ruyi said no, I can just ask someone to see her off. Zhang Xiangbei said no, because there are generals who are going to war, so we won't see them off. Zhou Ruyi giggled and said, but this general sucks. I think I will cry when I get to the airport. Don't blame me. It beats your lungs, Zhang Xiangbei cursed. The sorting area for unit users is separate from that for individual users. The quantity of unit varieties required by unit users cannot be the same as that required by individual users. For example, millet peppers are measured in units of 50 grams for individual users, but here for unit users, starting at least 250 grams. For vegetables such as green vegetables and Chinese cabbage, each unit user starts with at least 5 kilograms. Large units, such as Tuxianjiayuan Hotel and several universities in Xiaosha, require 6 or 7 pounds of green vegetables per unit every day. 100 pounds. There are 3 conveyor belts in the sorting area for unit users. There are no ready-made vegetable sorting equipment at home or abroad. These equipments were developed by Zhang Xiangbei and his colleagues at Zaixian Delivery together with related companies. They also, as a co-owner of a patent, applying for a patent sets a threshold for up-and-coming companies. Including the fresh-keeping cabinet, although the principle is very simple, they have also applied for utility model patents, so that companies who want to follow the trend must at least use their brains and don't just pick and learn from ready-made products. Zhang Chen helped with a lot of ideas for the set of sorting equipment. It is definitely impossible to weigh every variety of vegetables on site. In that case, it would not only be time-consuming and labor-intensive, but also waste space. How to solve this problem? The factory several engineers were at a loss. Zhang Chen remembered the rice store in his childhood. He told the engineers that when we were young, we went to the rice store to buy rice and queued in a long line. When we arrived at the rice store, we first issued a ticket and then went in to get the rice with the ticket. At that time, the rice store, and it's different now. There is no bagged rice, only bulk rice. There are no scales in the rice shop. With so many people, it would be too late to weigh the rice one by one on site. Zhang Chen picked up paper and pen as he spoke, and said to the engineers while drawing. The place where rice is collected is like this, a window, and below the window is a wooden square funnel mouth. We put the rice bag on the funnel mouth, and it looks like this inside. A wooden square groove is suspended in the air. That's it, it's shaped like this. The square groove hangs diagonally in mid-air at a 45-degree angle. There are also funnel openings on the top of the square trough. Each opening is 5 kilograms, 10 kilograms, and 20 kilograms respectively. In front of the salesperson who distributes rice, there are wooden poles connected like this, lined up in front of her. A pole holds the mouth of a funnel. You are 20 pounds, so she pulls the 20-pound pole. The pole is connected to a mechanism at the mouth of the funnel. With a swish, all the rice in the funnel leaks into the square trough, and slides along to your. When the rice bag required 15 kilograms, she pulled the 10 kilogram and 5 kilogram poles together, and there was a squeak. Soon, the rice was distributed in just tens of seconds. When I was a kid, I went to buy rice. Every time I looked at the equipment in the rice shop for a long time, I thought it was amazing. This equipment uses all mechanical principles. The entire equipment is made of wood and does not use any electricity. Later, I figured it out. It turns out that the wooden room above the square trough is a rice warehouse. Each of the funnels is actually a dendrobium. There are 5 caddies of dendrobium, 10 caddies of dendrobium and 20 caddies of dendrobium. The top and bottom of the dendrobium have lids. The rice in the warehouse automatically fills up the dendrobium, and the upper lid closes. When the rod is pulled, the lower lid opens, and the rice in the dendrobium falls to the ground. When you push the pole back, the lower lid will be closed, and the upper lid will be opened, and the rice will automatically fill up with dendrobium again, and it goes up and down again. Zhang Chen explained a set of purely mechanical rice selling equipment clearly while drawing. The engineers immediately understood it. One engineer shouted, "Great, I figured out what to do. Thank you to the traveler Ye Buzan for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you to the passers-by Ye Buzan, Kingbo, Deji Lao, Zipanjiang 1, Wind and Wing, Wind Jungle Spinach, Brother Azu, Kitty Sun, Feng Po Lang 26, Pai Wu Sun, Book Friends 201811301053053944, Book Friends 201701052133111538 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1965. After repeated development, the entire set of equipment finally looked like this. Each assembly line was composed of 3 parallel conveyor belts. The 2 on both sides were used for sorting by workers, and the one in the middle was used by workers. We push the filled turnover box to the middle, and the turnover box goes from the conveyor belt in the middle to the end point. From the starting point of the entire assembly line, turnover boxes with QR codes are attached, running along with the conveyor belt, and delivered to each workstation. Each workstation contains a variety of vegetables. The required vegetables will appear on the screen in front of the workers. Number of vegetables. Above the assembly line, there is a stainless steel trough similar to a central air conditioning duct. Inside the trough are vegetables of this type. Vegetables of this type are continuously coming from the vegetable cleaning workshop and piled up in the square trough above. At each workstation, there are funnels extending from the square groove above. When the QR code of the turnover box is read from the beginning of the assembly line, the order corresponding to this group of turnover boxes is automatically entered into each station of the entire assembly line. The funnel connected by the square groove is equipped with a metering function. After receiving the instruction, it will automatically start measuring and prepare all the types of vegetables required for the order in the hopper. There is a display screen in front of each workstation. The display screen displays the content of the order, as well as the variety and quantity of vegetables required at your workstation. Workers need to check whether the quantity on the order matches the quantity displayed on the funnel. When the turnover box is transferred to a workstation on the conveyor belt, the worker at this station presses the button after checking that it is correct, and the vegetables in the hopper will slide from the hopper mouth into the turnover box. At this time, the workers only need to put the vegetables that have slid down from the hopper into the turnover box, and simply stack them neatly. The turnover box will then move to the next station and start sorting the next variety of vegetables. When the worker is sorting the vegetables, it is equivalent to the order was rechecked manually to ensure it was correct. When the turnover box reaches the end of the conveyor belt, the code reader at the end automatically scans the QR code, which will display on the terminal's display screen which unit's order it is, how many boxes in total, and which box it is. It will also prompt, which number of cold chain trucks should these boxes be loaded into. The cold chain trucks have been lined up at the end, and the workers responsible for loading the trucks only need to deliver these turnover boxes to the corresponding cold chain trucks. In order to reduce errors, the vegetables corresponding to each workstation are fixed every day, and the entire conveyor belt is arranged according to the volume and weight of the vegetables. For example, workstations number 1 to 10 have millet, pepper, garlic, and ginger every day. Vegetables that are not required in large quantities and are light in size and weight are needed, but vegetables such as green vegetables are ranked at the last station. The conveyor belt is constantly running. It only takes a few minutes for an order to go through the entire sorting process. There are many porters at the terminal and they are very busy, because as soon as the conveyor belt starts running, each turnover box will be coming off the conveyor belt in a steady stream. When it comes to individual users, it's relatively simple. A customer can only have one turnover box at most. The cleaned vegetables are bundled according to fixed measurements and placed on the shelf. The workers only need to look at the screen in front of them and place them on the shelf. The required number of bundles or bags are manually put into the turnover box on the conveyor belt, and the turnover box is immediately uploaded to the next workstation. Generally speaking, if a worker at a workstation is sorting cucumbers, he may have been sorting cucumbers at this workstation for several months. In this way, his movements will be very skilled and the possibility of making mistakes will be reduced. It can drop almost to zero. The same is true at the terminal. For example, customers in the same community and the same building will be designated to be installed in the same cold chain truck. The advantage of using turnover boxes is that because the specifications of the turnover boxes are unified, each cold chain truck can be loaded with the number of customers' dishes can be counted in advance. There will also be a loading instruction. After each vehicle enters the community, their goods will definitely be at the outermost building of the first arriving building. The delivery person only needs to scan the code to unload the goods in order, and there is no need to rummage on site. That night, all the people in the company arrived and brought 10 carts of vegetables, meat products, as well as poultry and aquatic products. These 10 carts of goods were purchased from the wholesale market, just like Xiang Nan and the others were performing in a formal performance. Just like they had to rehearse before, Zhang Xiangbei and the others also needed to practice again. Not only all employees of Xixian Delivery must be present, but also the engineering and technical personnel of the factories that make the equipment are also on site. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan counted on their watches. After the 10 carts of vegetables were washed, sorted, and finally loaded, they tried every step. In the end, just as they expected, Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan breathed a sigh of relief. While Hangzhou was conducting such exercises, the fresh food delivery in Shanghai and Nanjing also began at the same time. Xiao Wu, who was supervising the army in Shanghai, and Sun Xiangyang in Nanjing were in contact with Zhang Xiangbei and the others at any time. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan looked at the real-time transmission of the pictures on the screen, and saw that the two places ended successfully, just as they expected. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan couldn't help but smile at each other. Needless to say, what the two of them were thinking was that we were ready. The two people walked to their dispatch center to take a look. The bright spots in Guangdong, Shandong, Hebei, and Henan also began to move. All the bright spots spread in a fan shape toward the lower reaches of the Yangtze River and Qiantang River. Two people stood on the second floor and looked down. They saw that in the workshop below, the heads of each department were holding a meeting for their departments in front of their own phalanx. At this time, Zhang Xiangbei seemed to feel that, there are already so many people here. What do you think? If we add up the drivers and delivery people, we already have 1,165 people. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said, it feels like the shortage of people is still severe. Every day we are constantly recruiting people, and I wish I could send people to Wenwen and Zhouruyi every day, they are too difficult. Zhang Xiangbei said, after tomorrow, I will go to these two places to have a look. What about Ningyuan? Who is going to Ningyuan? Wenwen from Ningyuan called today and asked us when we would go there to cooperate with their village in running a company. Their village committee held 2 meetings and the villagers have been mobilized. Get up, Wu Huan said. It's better for me to go, Zhang Xiangbei said, you sit at home. Yeah, I even want to break you apart and divide you into several parts, Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan, of course, are still sleeping in the office today. Not only them, but Wu Yu will also stay in the office. Tomorrow morning, their website for placing orders for unit users will be online, and orders from unit customers will continue to be sent. Come here, they have to keep statistics and then place orders to various branches and offices in the vegetable producing areas. In various branches and offices, they are still waiting for the order instructions from the head office to purchase the vegetables that need to be purchased every day. There is a time lag between their purchases and customers' orders. Customers usually place orders for the next day in the afternoon or evening every day, and they have to travel a day or two just for transportation. It is impossible for them to wait until the customer places an order before issuing a purchase order. That would definitely be too late, but they cannot purchase blindly. Wu Yu and the others will make predictions about all unit orders through big data statistics and calculate the next steps. Approximate amount of each variety of vegetables required per day. This problem will also exist in the next community delivery. While having supper, Zhang Xiangbei met Wu Ziyawai in the cafeteria. Wu Ziyawai told him, yes, Bai Bei, your exercise went well today. Zhang Xiangbei was surprised and asked, how do you know? I went over to take a look, but I didn't go upstairs to find you, Wu Ziyawai said, and Zhang Xiangbei understood. After the two of them finished their supper, they walked outside together. Zhang Xiangbei invited Wu Ziyawai to sit at his place, and Wu Ziyawai agreed. The two people walked to Zhang Xiangbei's office. They first stood in the dispatching hall and took a look. Wu Ziyawai said, when they are free, let Wu Yu and the others help me build such a system there. We really need it. Zhang Xiangbei said yes, no problem. The two of them watched in the dispatch room for more than 10 minutes. Wu Ziyawai also knew the entire highway traffic in China very well. He told Zhang Xiangbei that I have traveled on about half of the highways in the country. Bai Bei, you will do the same if you continue. Zhang Xiangbei said yes, I quite like driving on the highway. The two then went to Zhang Xiangbei's office and sat and chatted for more than half an hour. Zhang Xiangbei sent Wu Ziyawai out. The two of them couldn't help but walk to the dispatch center and looked at it for a while. Zhang Xiangbei stared at the map on the wall. His brows furrowed, and Zhang Xiangbei said to the staff on duty, show me, who is this car parked between Rizao and Lianyungang? The officer on duty immediately checked and told Zhang Xiangbei the car number. At this moment, Wu Huan came over and asked Zhang Xiangbei what was wrong. Zhang Xiangbei pointed to the motionless bright spot between Rizao and Lianyungang and said, this car was parked here before I went to have late night snacks. It's been almost 2 hours, and it's still parked here. Could he be resting? Wu Huan asked. No, large trucks drive at night in the summer and rest in the service area during the day. They won't rest now. Wu Ziyawai is right. Enlarge this place a little bit, Zhang Xiangbei said to the dispatcher. The dispatcher immediately zoomed in on this place. They saw that this bright spot was between Lanshan district in Rizao and Ganyu district in Lianyungang. Wu Ziyawai said. It seems to be parked on the Shanghai Expressway. I remember this place, but I haven't reached the service area yet. When Wu Huan heard this, she immediately realized that something was wrong. She told the dispatcher, "Find the driver's phone number immediately." The dispatcher found the driver's phone number and told Wu Huan. Wu Huan immediately dialed the driver's phone number. After listening for a while, he became angry and cursed. "Why didn't you call and report as soon as possible? It's clearly written in our agreement. Okay, you wait for my call." Putting down the phone, Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said, "We are indeed on the highway. We are still waiting for rescue. It is said that the car broke down and the drive shaft was broken." Broken drive shaft? Both Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Ziyai realized that this was a big trouble. Zhang Xiangbei said, "The drive shaft broke for 2 hours, and it was late at night. Is this driver a pig? He doesn't even know how to report it? There is no way, this is a social vehicle," Wu Huan said. "Although we have signed an agreement with them, if the car breaks down on the road, we must report it as soon as possible, but these people, alas." Wu Huan turned to the dispatcher and said, "Immediately send a text message to all drivers to remind them that if the vehicle breaks down, they must report it as soon as possible. By the way, we will order the cargo of this vehicle. Thank you to Jungle Spinach of the Wind, Dragon King 12377, and for your monthly votes if you don't see a future and just remember your original intention. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 1966. The supervisor on duty at the dispatch center was in the canteen. He received a call from Wu Huan and hurried back. Wu Huan told her that in addition to reminding all drivers to report any conditions on the road in a timely manner, the people in your dispatch center should not be like logs sitting here. This car has not moved for several hours, and Mr. Zhang found out. Yes, your 2 on-duty guards are sitting here without even noticing. Yes, Mr. Wu, I immediately asked them to go down and ask them to pay attention to detecting problems when monitoring the movement of all vehicles. Once they find any problems, they will take the initiative to call and ask the driver," the supervisor on duty said quickly. Zhang Xiangbei picked up the landline phone on the table next to him, stretched out his finger to press a few numbers, and said to the phone, "Wu Yu, come to the dispatching hall immediately." Wu Yu ran out from inside, and Zhang Xiangbei asked him if the system could be improved. "If every truck stops on the way for more than half an hour, it will automatically call the police. In this way, even if the driver does not call, the dispatch center will also immediately know which vehicle is abnormal and contact the driver in time." Zhang Xiangbei does not believe in the behavior of a single individual. He believes that when a problem can be solved with technical means must be used. Technology is more reliable than people. Wu Yu thought for a moment and said yes, but there was a question. What if the driver took a break midway? Then let them call and tell the dispatch center. The dispatcher can change the status. If he doesn't call the police here. Even if he falls asleep, he must be woken up. Repeat this several times and you can force him to do so. They develop the habit of proactively contacting the dispatch center, Zhang Xiangbei said. Wu Yu said yes, I will change it immediately and try to get it out before tomorrow night. Zhang Xiangbei nodded. The dispatcher came over and told them that the truck departed from Shaoguang and that the entire truck was full of green onions shipped to the Shanghai branch. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan heard this, and their hearts sank, because they knew that although green onions are not a common dish, especially customers in the south do not use many, they are an indispensable variety, and precisely because green onions are not daily vegetables, when they made the purchase plan, they only ordered 1 truckload of green onions in each city. If this carload of green onions was delayed on the road, they would not have a single green onion in Shanghai. Moreover, the most annoying thing is that the drive shaft of this car is broken. You don't need to ask Zhang Xiangbei to know that even if the car is taken to the repair shop, the repairman will not count it in the middle of the night, and ordinary repair shops will not have spare parts. The drive shaft needs to be purchased. This load of green onions was delayed, which seemed doomed. Is it too late for Lu Dihua to send another truck immediately? Wu Huan asked. Can the cooperative collect it at night? Zhang Xiangbei shook his head and said, there is no need to ask the members of the cooperative to harvest green onions now. There is one in the vegetable logistics park opposite Lu Dihua's office. You can just buy a truck directly from there and send it over. But it is almost 3 o'clock now. Once you have bought it, load it into the truck and weigh it. It will take at least 5 o'clock to set off, and we will have to rest on the way. It will probably not be until the early morning of the day after tomorrow when we arrive in Shanghai. Wu Huan understood that this probably meant that all orders with green onions in Shanghai would be piled up in their workshop, waiting for the arrival of this car of green onions. In this way, the delivery time would probably be missed. Bai Bei, I asked my Liaoning company to send 2 vehicles to transport the green onions, Wu Zayawai said from the side. Zhang Xiangbei sighed, saying that it might be too late. The car is still on the highway now. It has to be towed off the highway before it can be unloaded. Your car is passing from Liaoning now. It will take at least more than an hour to find it. It will take at least 1 or 2 hours to unload and load a car of green onions. By the time we set off, it will be daylight, and we will have to walk for 8 or 9 hours, including meals and rest, and it will be midnight when we arrive in Shanghai. What should we do? Wu Huan asked. Zhang Xiangbei stared at the map on the wall, and Wu Zayawai said to him, Bai Bei, it doesn't matter. The green onions won't go bad anyway. It doesn't matter if we wait for the car to be repaired or to replace it. It doesn't matter if we arrive a day late. Zhang Xiangbei smiled bitterly and said, it's not a question of whether it will be bad. If so, there will be no green onions in Shanghai. Wu Zayawai also smiled bitterly. It seems that Zhang Xiangbei and his company are still different from his own express company. His express truck broke down on the road. At worst, it will arrive a day late, and the customer will not react much. If there are problems during transportation, the dishes themselves will not only be spoiled, but also out of stock, which will affect many orders. Zhang Xiangbei stared blankly at the map on the wall. Suddenly his eyes lit up and he shouted to the dispatcher. Help me check immediately where the load of green onions shipped to Nanjing is. The dispatcher checked and told Zhang Xiangbei that he had just passed Rizao and was about to leave Shandong. Zhang Xiangbei's mind was spinning rapidly. In this way, the difference between this car and the one that broke down was only 1 hour. Zhang Xiangbei laughed. Is there any way? Wu Huan asked. Yes, Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said, immediately contact the green onion truck shipped to Nanjing and ask him to change his itinerary. Instead of going to Nanjing, go directly to Shanghai. Zhang Xiangbei then said to Wu Zayawai, let your Liaoning company help us send a car to load the green onions and help us send them to Nanjing. It only takes more than 4 hours from Liaoning to Nanjing, so it's too late. Wu Zayawai slapped Zhang Xiangbei on the shoulder and shouted, not bad, smart. I'll call right away. Wu Zayawai and Wu Huan both started making phone calls. After more than 10 minutes, both parties had completed the implementation. Wu Zayawai asked the boss of their Liaoning branch to personally take people to unload and load the truck. After a while, the boss of their branch called and told Wu Zayawai that he had contacted the driver of the green onion truck. The problem was finally solved, and both Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan breathed a long sigh of relief. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Zayawai said, thank you, Uncle Wu. If you hadn't been here today, we wouldn't have been able to find the car even if we tried to find it in the middle of the night. Wu Zayawai said, thank you, thank you. Your business is not my business. We have been doing logistics longer than you. Express Company. Fortunately, we have branches in every city along the way. Bye bye, Wu Huan, you guys, if anything happens on the road, just call me and my people can help. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan quickly said thank you, thank you. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan slept on the sofa in their office for more than 2 hours. Zhang Xiangbei woke up, went to the bathroom to take a shower, and put on a set of clean work clothes. He walked to his desk and just sat down. Next, his cell phone rang. It was Wu Ziyawai, and Zhang Xiangbei picked it up. Wu Ziyawai told him that the green onions had been loaded and the car had just set off. It would arrive in Nanjing at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Zhang Xiangbei quickly said, "Thank you, Uncle Wu." Putting down the phone, Zhang Xiangbei breathed a sigh of relief and was completely relieved. The Nanjing branch of Wu Ziyawai and his courier company, like here, is also located in the logistics space of half-acre field, right next to the Nanjing branch of their Zaixian delivery next door. Their truck driver is familiar with this road and will not make any mistakes. Zhang Xiangbei looked at his watch. It was already past 6 o'clock. He walked out of his office and walked to Wu Yu's Technology Center. Their website for unit users was officially launched at 6:30 today, with 10 minutes left. When Zhang Xiangbei arrived, Wu Huan was already here. Zhang Xiangbei told Wu Huan that the green onions from Nanjing had been shipped out. Wu Huan nodded and said with a smile, "Why is it really like a war?" At 6:30, the Zaixian delivery website went online. Zhang Xiangbei turned on the computer on the desk next to him, entered the Zaixian delivery website address into the browser, and pressed enter. The temporary web page immediately appeared on the computer screen. Wu Yu, after telling Zhang Xiangbei an account and password, Zhang Xiangbei logged in and saw the homepage of their Zaixianshu. Wu Huan called the customer service center and told them to send text messages to all customers to inform them that our website is online and orders can be placed today. Then she called Shanghai and Nanjing to inform Shanghai and Nanjing that our website was online. "I'll go, so fast. More than 50 people have logged in to browse." Wu Yu shouted. At this time, it was only 6:40, just 10 minutes after their website went online. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "What are you happy about? Don't forget, these 50 or so people must be like us, they are our own people. Everyone knows that the website will be online at 6:30 today, so come and take a look. It is only around 6 o'clock now. Zhong, which unit will place the order? At least it will be afternoon today." Wu Yu chuckled and felt that what Zhang Xiangbei said made sense. "Holy shit! What is this? Mr. Wu, look backstage," a programmer shouted. The two presidents, Wu and Zhang Xiangbei, all gathered around the computer. Wu Yu opened the backend of their website. The three people's eyes widened. They saw that an order had already come in. "Isn't this too exaggerated?" Zhang Xiangbei asked Wu Yu to quickly open the order. He looked at it and immediately picked up his mobile phone and dialed. The phone rang twice and was picked up. Lin Shuwen's voice rang on the phone. "Bai Bei, are you still in the unit?" "Yes, I'm here, Aunt Shuwen. Did you place an order just now?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. He saw that the order was from Lin Shuwen and their LinkedIn foreign language school. "Yes, I asked the chief secretary to give me the order yesterday. I just wanted to place the order myself today to support Bai Bei. Didn't I just receive your text message, so I tried to place the order," Lin Shuwen explained. "Thank you, Aunt Shuwen, you are our Lanboan, the first order," Zhang Xiangbei said. Yes, it's great," Lin Shuwen smiled happily. Zhang Xiangbei remembered it and said to Lin Shuwen, "Aunt Shuwen, I remember my father and mother told me before that their first foreign trade order was placed by Aunt Shuwen. Unexpectedly, today, our first order was placed by Aunt Shuwen again. Thank you very much." "Bai Bei, Auntie is very happy too," Lin Shuwen said. "Thank you for your first home loan and 2 fish rewards. Thank you to Acton, Zhao 1017, Captain Jim, Shachin Mood, Zipanjiang 1, Crush Killer VIP, Don't Let You Be a Demon, On the Road to a Nation, Dragon King 123,777 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you a nice weekend. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 1967. The number of people browsing their Zician delivery website was increasing rapidly. By 8 o'clock, there were already more than 5,000 people. It was impossible for so many people to be from their company. Zhang Xiangbei felt that these people, many of them, should have received text messages from their customer service and came in to take a look. At around 8:30, the second order came in. Zhang Xiangbei opened it and saw that it was from Tuxianjiayuan Hotel. Zhang Xiangbei called Hui Huan. Hui Huan told him, "We are open for business. When I get to the office, I will place an order for dry goods, frozen goods, and seasonings for you. Bai, I have seen the varieties of your company, quite complete, and the price is cheaper than anything we have ever bought. The hotel will definitely welcome you. We usually place orders for vegetables, chicken, duck, and fish at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. The 2 stores in Hangzhou and several stores in Shanghai will all place orders at about this time. Is that okay, Bai?" Hui Huan asked. Zhang Xiangbei said quickly, "Okay, we will deliver the orders before 12 o'clock tomorrow morning." "Thank you, Aunt Hui Huan. By the way, Bai, when you just start doing business, there will definitely be a shortage of some products. It's impossible to get such good products. When I first opened the store, when I went to the vegetable market to buy vegetables, I couldn't control it well. Either this was missing or that was missing. Bai, Auntie told you that our order is large, you can arrange it later, and if there is anything missing, just reduce what we have here. If I don't have the goods, I will find a way myself. With one order, we may be able to satisfy dozens of other units. You satisfy them first, so that there will be repeat customers." Hui Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said that Zhang Xiangbei felt warm in his heart after listening to it. He knew what Hui Huan said, and he would find a way. It was just buying everything they had here, and what they didn't have here. She also, the reason for arranging people to purchase is to support them and get this thing done. Zhang Xiangbei quickly said to Hui Huan, "I understand, thank you, Aunt Hui Huan. Mr. Zhang, their Tuxianjiayuan Hotel is so awesome. This order alone costs more than 110,000. Zhang Xiangbei put down the phone and Wu Huan told him. Zhang Xiangbei's heart skipped a beat and he understood. He understands Aunt Hui Huan and knows that their place is about to open. During this period, he must be controlling the hotel's inventory. He will try his best not to make up for the dry goods, frozen goods, and seasonings consumed by the hotel, and keep the warehouse it's almost empty. This is a short position waiting to place an order for them." Zhang Xiangbei sat there silently. Time passed little by little, and more people visited their website. Then the third and fourth orders came in, from Hanzhou Zulu Bang's Black Forest Food and Chu Tianlin's factory. Zhang Xiangbei sent them WeChat, said thank you to them, and both of them responded with a smile and wished Bai a prosperous business. Zhang Xiangbei put down the phone and suddenly felt a little guilty. It was already past 9 o'clock. So far, they had only received 4 orders. These orders were all from acquaintances. Although Zhang Xiangbei knows that in all hotels and units, whether at home or abroad, when dinner is almost over, the head chef or boss will first check the inventory in the kitchen and warehouse before starting to place orders. When Zhang Xiangbei was in the United States, those restaurants would only call him at night to place orders. Didn't Aunt Huihuan also say before that they have to wait until 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening to place the order? Although Zhang Xiangbei thought so in his heart, he kept comforting himself. It's still early, and it's still early to place an order. Now we are only dealing with corporate customers. Corporate customers are regular, and only individual customers start. After doing it, people will place orders within 24 hours. A thought suddenly popped up in Zhang Xiangbei's mind. What if no one placed an order today and there were only these few friendship orders? On the map, those bright spots were constantly moving towards them one by one. If the carts of vegetables were delivered here, it would be the end point. Without orders, these vegetables would be piled up in the workshop with nowhere to go, and then what should I do if it starts to rot little by little? Zhang Xiangbei felt shuddering, and he actually started to tremble slightly. Then this joke is too big. Zhang Xiangbei couldn't sit still. He felt a little empty in his heart. He stood up and walked out without saying a word. He walked into his office, closed the door and locked it. He walked to the sofa and fell down. He heard himself let out a heavy sigh. The ringing of the phone on the table woke Zhang Xiangbei. He opened his eyes and looked at his watch. It was only after 10 o'clock. He fell asleep on the sofa less than an hour ago, but he felt that he had been asleep for a long time. The phone on the table stopped ringing, and then rang again after a while. Zhang Xiangbei walked over, picked up the phone, and heard Wu Huan's laughter. I'm sorry, Mr. Zhang, I know you are sleeping, and I didn't want to disturb you, but I just couldn't help it. What's wrong? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Wu Huan used an adjective. She said, orders are coming in like a snowflake. So far, there have been more than 3,000 orders. Really? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Of course, Wu Huan said, I'll let you sleep a little longer. I know you haven't slept much these days. Zhang Xiangbei chuckled, you are too. Zhang Xiangbei walked into Wu Huan's office and saw Wu Huan staring at the computer in front of him. Seeing Zhang Xiangbei come in, Wu Huan said to him excitedly. That's it? Between the time I called you and the time you came in, 12 more were added. Zhang Xiangbei walked behind Wu Huan and saw that the computer was filled with orders. The total in the upper right corner showed that their 3 cities had received a total of 3,653 orders so far. Which city has the most? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Of course it's Shanghai, Wu Huan said, however, there are also many contract units in Shanghai. In terms of proportion, they are almost the same. 267% of the contract customers have placed orders. It's unscientific, Zhang Xiangbei said, this completely violates the rules for placing orders for corporate customers. I don't care if it's scientific or not, as long as you place an order, it's the most scientific thing. Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei laughed loudly, and the haze in his heart completely disappeared. Today was really a good start. Zhang Xiangbei remembered the previous call with Wu Huan. He told Wu Huan to count the individual varieties of all orders. Already have it, the system automatically generated it, Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and continued. Compare this with the goods we have on the road now, and monitor the changes in the numbers at all times. Don't find out at night that the quantity we purchased for many varieties is far from enough. More is fine, but less is troublesome. This is the first time for others. When placing an order, we are short of this and that, just like going to a restaurant to eat. If this dish is not available or that dish is not available, the customer experience will be very poor. Wu Huan nodded. She also felt that what Zhang Xiangbei said was very important. She said to Zhang Xiangbei, okay, I will arrange it and report to you at any time. Zhang Xiangbei walked back to his office and sat down on the sofa. He suddenly thought that today was the first time for him. It was also the first time for those corporate customers. They were also the first time. When I placed an order online for the first time, many people placed the order with the intention of giving it a try. No wonder so many people placed orders at this unreasonable time. Zhang Xiangbei picked up his mobile phone and dialed Xiangnan. As soon as the call came through, Xiangnan asked, "Good news or bad news?" "Good news," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Hey, I'm so stupid. If there was bad news, you wouldn't call me, right, Zhang Xiangbei?" Xiangnan giggled. "Zhang Xiangbei is right. Tell me, how good is it?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "By the time I call you now, our orders should have reached 4,000. "Really, that's great, Zhang Xiangbei." Xiangnan chuckled, "Oh, it's a pity that I'm not here, Zhang Xiangbei, I should reward you well." Zhang Xiangbei brought his lips close to the camera, and Xiangnan kissed her there. Zhang Xiangbei closed his eyes and enjoyed it. Xiangnan kept kissing her, and Zhang Xiang was so Beidou became suspicious. He took the phone away and saw Xiangnan kissing the back of her hand. "You." Zhang Xiangbei's eyes widened in anger. Xiangnan chuckled, and after finishing his laughter, he said, "Okay, now give you a good kiss." After saying that, Xiangnan moved her lips closer to the camera, and Zhang Xiangbei also moved closer, and the two kissed across the screen. Just after hanging up the phone to Xiangnan, Zhang Xiangbei's cell phone rang again. It was Zhou Ruyi. Zhang Xiangbei picked up the phone. Zhou Ruyi shouted on the phone. "Zhang Xiangbei, is this really so exaggerated? I just called Wu Huan and she told me that orders are coming in like flakes. Did you hear that? It's like flakes." Zhang Xiangbei pretended to be calm and said, "Yes, what's wrong? Isn't this normal? Everything is as expected." Zhou Ruyi smiled and said, "Okay, it's normal. It's like snowflakes. Can we build a snowman then?" Is there snow in Guangzhou?" Zhang Xiangbei cursed, then couldn't hold it back and laughed. "There's nothing to be afraid of when there's no snow. I'm so happy. I'm going to buy a lot of ice cream and freeze myself to death." Zhou Ruyi shouted, "How many orders are there?" Wu Huan said earlier that it exceeded 4,000. "I don't know, aren't I on the phone with you? Anyway, the number is increasing every minute," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Go away, it's increasing every minute. 1 serving per minute, only 60 servings per hour," Zhou Ruyi scolded. Zhang Xiangbei scolded back, "Are you stupid? It's increasing every minute, so you can't add 10 or 100 copies per minute. They can't come at the same time, and they have to line up to enter." Zhou Ruyi giggled. As soon as Zhang Xiangbei hung up the phone rang again. He looked over and saw that it was Fatty Sunday. Zhang Xiangbei was very happy. This was the time to queue up to enter. It seemed that the good news was really coming faster than the wind. Still fast. "Thank you for your monthly tickets to Looking at the Plum Blossoms and Wind Jungle Spinach. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North." Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 1968. At about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Wu Huan and Li Wei walked into Zhang Xiangbei's office. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said, "It seems that we are being conservative. Some varieties are almost out of stock. Should we put them out? Taken off the menu?" "What varieties are they?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "Like green beans and carrots. We didn't expect that so many people would need carrots," Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei didn't expect it either. He thought carefully for a while and finally remembered it. Zhang Xiangbei said to them, "Carrots look inconspicuous, but I thought about it. Kung Pao chicken and braised chicken both need carrots. These two are home-cooked dishes for corporate customers. Wu Huan and Li Wei, it seems that we want to accurately grasp the demand and avoid waste and inventory. It is not enough to stay at home. You also need to study the recipes of customers, especially large customers. By the way, many big customers, such as schools, institutions, hospitals, etc., already have their own recipes for the week. We ask our salesmen to go deeper and communicate with customers to find ways to obtain their recipes in advance. It will be good for our procurement. The reason why many large customers order recipes in advance is not only for the sake of enriching the variety of dishes, but also for cost accounting. In some units, it also involves the total budget and food subsidy. It is not just what you want to do. What you do should be as rich and balanced as possible under this general premise. You can't say that you ate well on Monday, but on the other days, it's like eating food to remember the bitter experience, and even tears are shed. There must be a comprehensive consideration. Wu Huan nodded and said yes, the accuracy of big data requires not only volume, but also time, and more importantly, the accumulation of our own experience. What should we do now? Directly remove the varieties that are not available. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a moment and decided that it would be easiest for them to just remove it. If there was no such dish on the menu, customers would have no choice but to order other dishes or simply give up. But in this way first, the customers who are affected, especially those who have ordered recipes in advance, will have to recalculate and modify the recipes. Zhang Xiangbei always believes that at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, there will be a wave of ordering climax. By that time, if customers are on their menu, they will not be able to order even simple dishes like carrots and green beans. An idea that will pop up immediately is that it is more convenient to purchase directly by yourself. Zhang Xiangbei is very confident that their vegetables will definitely be cheaper than those purchased by these units themselves, but if you can't meet their requirements, what's the use of being cheap? Still the same 4 words, customer experience. This is like Pinduoduo, which just launched this year. Although the products on it are cheaper than those on Dibo.com, the customer experience is very poor. Especially for many customers, their trust in the seller is actually based on the things they have already bought. They think the things are cheap and good, so they want to see if the seller has anything else to buy, but they are struggling. The result on Duoduo is that there is no store at all. Even if you buy something and want to buy it a second time, you find that the thing is no longer available and you can't find the person who sells it. On the other hand, this encourages sellers to act boldly. Although many items on Pinduoduo are cheap, the quality is much worse than that on Diobao.com. As for food, they simply resorted to tampering. They either found ways to improve the packaging or added more fillers, even exaggerating for 50 grams per pack. All the desiccant will come out. Although you spend a small amount of money, you actually get very little. The seller didn't care about this. He just moved to another place, sold the same thing for a few days, and then reopened it with a new look a few days later. He didn't even think about maintaining the reputation of the store, attracting and cultivating the awareness of more old customers, or in other words, there is no store awareness at all. All websites are destined to not go far if the customer experience is poor. Customer experience is the foundation for a website to survive. Zhang Xiangbei feels that websites like Pinduoduo are destined to be only transitional and temporary products. It is impossible to go very far. When cheapness is not the only demand for online shopping, such websites will decline. If Dabao.com cannot see this clearly, becomes hot-headed, and turns to Pinduoduo to learn from Pinduoduo, it will also be doomed to fail. It is always the company itself that brings down a company, not other factors or people. At this point, Zhang Xiangbei somewhat admires his father. His father's half-acoustic field clothing, whether it is on Dabao.com or Amazon, insists on quality in terms of fabrics, styles, and workmanship. They are becoming more and more perfect, rather than becoming more and more shoddy. Their clothes are much more expensive than others, but they have always adhered to the high-quality line. This is actually very difficult. We have to face a lot of temptations, especially the temptation of sales volume. When people face competition, Of course they hope that the cost of their products will be lower and lower, and the selling price will be as cheap as possible. There may even be make false data to deceive customers. At this point, Zhang Chen is very stubborn. He is not afraid of sacrificing traffic, nor is he afraid of sacrificing sales, nor is he afraid that the data will not look good. Zhang Chen always told Xiaoli and Li Wei that I want the most authentic data, and you should not be afraid that our sales volume cannot compare with other brands. If you must compare, I will give you several indicators. First, who to compare with. The second is to compare whose exchange rate is lower, and the third is to compare whose brand credibility is higher. I don't care about the other things. To do this, especially in the years when online sales exploded, it was very difficult to persist in doing so and do it consistently. But now, they have tasted the fruits of persistence. Those who appeared on the internet at about the same time as them are still doing it in a popular way. Many of the brands that started in Shengshui have now disappeared, while Ban Mutian has accumulated a large number of loyal customers. Their current production of each style of clothing requires a minimum order quantity of 2,000 pieces. In other words, as long as there are new products on the market in half an acre, with their huge number of real customers, 2,000 is the minimum sales volume, which will definitely sell out, and you generally need to keep adding orders. Zhang Xiangbei feels that his father is sometimes a little stupid and one-minded, but his basic values are correct, and the most important thing is persistence. This is probably the reason why he can make his career big and still be able to do it with ease every day. I didn't see the reason why he was so busy. How to decide, Mr. Zhang? Wu Huan and Li Wei asked when they saw Zhang Xiangbei sitting there, silent for a long time. Don't withdraw it. Notify Nanjing and Shanghai and ask them to send people and vehicles to the local vegetable market to purchase whatever is lacking. At 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, there will be a large wave of customers placing orders. Tell everyone that they must be satisfied. All the needs of customers are the same here in Hangcheng, Zhang Xiangbei said. But Mr. Zhang, the price in the wholesale market is higher than the price we sell to customers, so our losses will be huge, Li Wei said. Don't think about losses, let's just think about how to meet the needs of our customers. Zhang Xiangbei looked up at them and said to them. Failure to meet the needs of customers is our work error. No matter what the reason is, it is our responsibility. Since it is our responsibility, we have to pay for the failure of our own work. Wu Huan and Li Wei both nodded. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan said that at 10 o'clock in the evening, when orders from all unit customers should be completed, we would hold a meeting to inform Nanjing and Shanghai, as well as the following branches. There is only one topic on the agenda with the office, which is to discuss how to ensure supply. You will notify us now and let everyone consider it first. Nanjing and Shanghai, at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, the first day of work in the workshop should have ended. Please inform us that we will hold a second meeting to discuss and summarize the first day of production. By the way, let the equipment manufacturer, the factory, also send people to participate. Problems with the equipment will only be known after actual use. Those that need improvement will start to be corrected tomorrow. Wu Huan said yes, I will arrange it right away. Just after 6 o'clock, their first vegetable cart arrived. The workers below were all waiting at the door of the workshop. When they saw the cart arriving, everyone couldn't help but applaud, which shocked the driver. What was going on? So many people are waiting for me, and they still applaud. When he got out of the car, he realized that he was the first car to arrive. Wu Wengzhen stepped forward and handed him a red envelope containing 2,000 yuan. The driver smiled crookedly. They set off from Henan together in 2 cars. They were in the Jiaxing service area in front. Their 2 drivers also entered the service area together. After entering, he urinated, and the driver of the other car defecated, so he left first. Unexpectedly, the difference between the sizes is so big. He was first and got 2,000. The guy took a poop and lost everything, because at this time, 2 more cars arrived. As soon as the truck carrying vegetables arrived, the workshop below started to get busy. Not only were they busy in the workshop, Li Wei's customer service center upstairs had been busy all day, and the customer service staff who answered the phone had their voices hoarse. Many customers place orders online for the first time. After the order is sent, they are worried and call their customer service number to ask if they have received the order, whether everything on the order is included, and whether it can be delivered on time tomorrow morning. After getting a definite answer, I hung up the phone. It's no wonder that these customers are worried that if an order is sent out but not received here, they will not be able to collect the food tomorrow morning. Not only will they resort to an empty city plan, but they will also cause everyone to have no food to eat. If they go to purchase at the last minute, it will definitely be too late. Then the division chief or general affairs manager will have his butt kicked by the boss of the unit. Zhang Xiangbei and his Zaixian delivery company only have one customer service center here in Hangzhou. All orders and customer calls will go here first, and they will forward them out or answer inquiries. Just like the customer service center, their distribution center has also been busy since the morning. They have already started delivering to customers in the morning. Many customers placed orders in the morning, like Tuxianjiayuan Hotel, which are not fresh products. Instead of placing orders, we imported food, frozen products, alcoholic beverages, dry goods, and condiments. They just need to pick these up from the warehouse of the partner company next door and start delivering them. Standing in the workshop, Zhang Xiangbei saw the vegetable cleaning equipment starting to start, and the conveyor belt in the sorting workshop also starting to rotate. Different equipment made different sounds. Zhang Xiangbei thought the sound was really nice. Thank you to reader 1297873838407110656 for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for the standby time, Midnight Wu GEC, Dragon King 123,777, Stinky Socks, Professional Season Formal Wear, Light and Thin, Changsha Hughes Hung, The Sky is Full of Thunder and Clouds, Sway learns to sing, Sand Dust Mood, For Whom the Wind and Dew Stand at Midnight 1. Monthly votes for Wind and Wing, Robin Granite, and Book Friends, 160529232957000. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 1969. At 10 o'clock in the evening, when they were preparing to hold an online meeting, the orders for today's unit customers had basically been placed. Starting at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, as expected by Zhang Xiangbei, there was a wave of orders. This wave, the climax, lasted until past 9 o'clock. Now, both the internet and the customer service center are silent. No orders or calls have come in for more than 10 minutes. The people in charge of placing orders in each unit have already gone home from get off work. Today, they received a total of more than 16,000 orders. They have a total of more than 13,000 contract units, and basically all of them have placed orders. Many units, like Tuxianjiayuan Hotel, have placed several orders. Or after placing an order, you think you still have something to buy, so you place another order. The whole conference room was filled with joy. Everyone knew that the first shot of their opening was fired. Zhang Xiangbei poured cold water on everyone and said, "Don't be too happy too early. Everything has just begun. The workshop below is still busy. Can it be delivered on time? It is still unknown. Also, if you are dissatisfied with our products and services, you will not know until the customer receives the goods tomorrow. If he is satisfied, he will continue to place an order. If he is not satisfied, he will turn around and walk away. You know, all responsible for purchasing, they are all experts, and they know exactly whether the stuff is good or not." Wu Huan continued what Zhang Xiangbei said. Also, today's profit is not as expected. Everyone knows the reason. We buy high and sell low for many vegetables. Hangzhou alone purchased 5 trucks from the Nangdu wholesale market. Goods. This situation will continue, and it will be the same tomorrow. I am prepared to make losses for 10 days and make additional purchases for 10 days. These 10 days are the deadline for us to solve the problem. I hope that after 10 days, we will not even have a green onion if external procurement is needed again. This is the purpose of our meeting now, Zhang Xiangbei told everyone. Wu Huan continued, to solve this problem, the first is the customer center, which needs to further understand the needs of customers, and the second is the technology center, which uses big data to find more regular things so that our procurement can have a certain degree of certainty. The margin is controlled within a reasonable range. Asked by Evian to speak, she said, I think procurement arrangements should be made based on the characteristics of vegetables, such as green onions, cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, Chinese cabbage, etc. These vegetables are not easy to spoil. We can relax the purchase volume to 4 days. For items that are easily spoiled, such as spinach, green vegetables, amaranth, chicken greens, and water spinach, the purchase quantity can be relaxed to 2 days. In this way, the workshops in several of your cities will actually have 1 to 2 or 3 days of stocking up. It will definitely be enough. Guaranteed supply. As soon as Xiang Ayun finished speaking, everyone responded together, thinking that Xiang Ayun's method was the best. In this way, the problem of ensuring supply was completely solved. Ding Mianli, general manager of their Shanghai branch, said, actually, our workshop is a low-temperature workshop, and the vegetables themselves are fresher than others. The vegetables are much fresher if they are left in our workshop for 1 day than in the vegetable market. Not to mention other things, the same meat, we leave it for the next day. The meat is definitely fresher than the meat you bought at the vegetable market that afternoon, especially in summer. We are a true full cold chain, no vegetable vendor can do it. Everyone agrees with what Mr. Ding said. Fatty Sun is right. The vegetable vendors in the vegetable market still sell vegetables the next day. I think the small vegetable shop in front of our house still sells the vegetables for 4 or 5 days. On sale, the eggplants are all soft and the cucumbers are wrinkled like old men. At worst, they can be sold to others cheaper. The temperature in our workshop is so low, there will definitely be no problem if they are stored for a day or 2. Zhang Xiangbei remained silent. He was listening to everyone. After everyone finished talking, he asked, which of you has worked at KFC? Li Wei raised her hand and said, I worked part-time when I was in college. Zhang Xiangbei asked, how does KFC handle the ingredients that are not used every day? Pour it out, Li Wei said. It's very strange. Their ingredients are semi-finished products when they are delivered in the morning. They have been marinated. As long as they are placed in the freezer, they can be used the next day. The chicken nuggets are already fried and fried again the next day. For a moment, customers can't even see it. Are you right? Li Wei nodded and said yes. Then why do they throw it out instead of putting it in for use the next day? Or as the fat man said, it's cheaper. Even if it's sold to you part-time workers at half price, you'll be very popular if you bring it to the dormitory. Every day there will be many classmates asking you to bring half-priced KFC, and these items will definitely be sold out, right? Li Wei nodded again, still right. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, it's so strange. Why didn't they think of such a simple thing? There are so many stores around the world. If this were done, wouldn't they be able to make a lot more money? Why wouldn't they do it? Everyone was silent, and Wu Huan said, this will lower their standards. Yes, Zhang Xiangbei said, it will lower the standard. Everyone must have heard of the wooden barrel theory, that is, how much water a wooden barrel can hold is determined by the shortest piece of wood. The quality of any company's product, it's not determined by the batch of products he made the best, but by the batch of products he made the worst. When your products need to be discounted, your quality will also be discounted. Zhang Xiangbei breathed a sigh of relief and said, "When I listened to your speech earlier, I felt a little disappointed. I felt that you were deceiving yourself and others. That's why you found so many reasons to prove that you were right. You are a vegetable vendor in a vegetable market or a side dish at your doorstep shop. If what you say is right, do you still need to find a reason to prove it? Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world, does it need to use K2 and Kangchenjunga to prove its height? Also, are we going to compete with the vegetable vendors and small vegetable shops in the vegetable market? If our standards are so low, how can we do fresh food delivery at home? Can't we just open a small vegetable shop? Fatty, you want to open a small vegetable shop? If so, I will open one for you tomorrow." Sun Xiangyang quickly waved his hand on the other side of the screen and said, "No, no, you continue to criticize." Zhang Xiangbei said, "I'm not criticizing, I'm reminding everyone that in our 3 words Xi Xian delivery, Xi means to tell everyone that you can buy groceries without leaving home. This is a brand new shopping experience regarding food experience. Fresh is the quality commitment we make to our customers to ensure that our dishes are the freshest, and delivery is our service commitment to ensure on-time delivery. Everyone go and take a look at our company's website. The homepage says fresher, cheaper, and more convenient. If we only know how to fool customers, that's fine, that's fine. We must hold ourselves to the lowest standards. In the end we will fool ourselves too. Who doesn't know that whether it is vegetables, chicken, duck, or fish, if it is stored for one more day, its freshness will be reduced by 1 day. If you pile it in the workshop for 2 or 3 days, can it still be called fresher? This is, are you lying to yourself or the devil?" Zhang Xiangbei's eyes scanned the conference room, and at the same time he glanced at the screen on the wall of the conference room, which showed his subordinates from all over the country. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Let me talk about our company's quality requirements. It's very simple, just 5 words, no overnight food." As soon as Zhang Xiangbei spoke, everyone inside and outside the conference room, including those on the screen, were shocked. Everyone looked at each other. How could it be possible without selling overnight food and also ensuring supply? And there is no need to outsource replenishment. There is only one thing to do, and that is to prepare sufficient goods every day. And preparing sufficient goods is simple, which means that more inventory will be generated. No customer will place an order just because you have a lot of something, and besides, he can't see it. There was silence inside and outside the entire conference room. Everyone looked at Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "I know this is a very demanding request. Let me tell you a story first. Many of you here know that I grew vegetables and sold vegetables at Yale University. By the year I graduated, the entire New Haven in Wen's restaurant, almost all their vegetables are sent by me. There is another thing that many people know. I said that I have dealt with gangsters of all colors all over the world. This is true. There are restaurants in New Haven owned by Japanese, Indians, Cubans, those opened by Puerto Ricans and Mexicans, those opened by the French and Portuguese, and of course those opened by us Chinese. The back kitchen of American hotels is a very complicated place. In every restaurant, there are almost illegal workers without green cards. Those head chefs are very fierce. Don't think that dealing with them is easy. If the dishes I deliver are not fresh, it's cheap, and they promise to confiscate the food, not give you a penny, and even beat you up. I don't even dare to fight with them. Why? I deliver food and earn black money. I haven't officially registered a company and can do business openly. If they really want to mess with you, they can just call and report you. That's it, I have done it. How? As long as my food is fresh and cheap, they want to deal with me all the time, so they won't do anything inappropriate. Haha, it's fresh and cheap. Is this what our company is trying to do now? Another thing I want to tell you is that we are now in a jungle society, and there are countless jackals, tigers, and leopards out there. They are staring at us with eager eyes, so no one should think that home fresh delivery will be smooth sailing. I bet that within half a year, there will be many similar companies appearing, and many capital giants will also get involved in the field of fresh food delivery. As long as we help everyone clear up the fog and let them see the direction clearly, it can be seen that this is a big blue ocean, probably the largest blue ocean. Once they enter the market, the fresh food delivery area will become a hand-to-hand battle. Our vegetables are cheap, and they will sell them cheaper than us. If you drop $1 to $2 billion, you won't even hear a sound. They won't even blink an eyelid, because they have only one purpose. Then just a quick victory and drive us out completely. I want to ask everyone, should we wait to die and wait for them to clean us out, or should we set a strict industry standard now? If you want to compete, fine, you are welcome, but we have to set the rules. It has been formulated here. Whether you can do it or not, please go away. You are in the wrong place. This rule is what I said before about not selling overnight food. If you have money, you can sell it cheaper. However, if you can't do it and don't sell overnight food, I'm sorry, but we still win. The customer is not a fool, he knows it at a glance. It can be seen that which dish is fresher. They may take away some of our customers because of the lower price, but these customers will eventually come back. Why? Because we, Zician Delivery, use our strict standards to make their mouths cunning. Their wallets tell them whose food is cheaper, but their mouths will tell them honestly whose food more delicious. When I talked about strict requirements earlier, people thought it was just a general term, too big to be appropriate. Well, let me put it another way. If I tell you that not selling overnight vegetables is to extend our own lives, my health is always full and I can't be killed. Do you still think that my requirements are too high? Thank you for your monthly passes to Doraemon, Win Jungle Spinach, and Nankei Yiman 79. Thanks for all the reading and votes. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 1970. The meeting ended after an hour. Wu Huan followed Zhang Xiangbei to his office. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said, "Mr. Zhang, what you said before is absolutely correct, but I still have different ideas." Say Zhang Xiangbei said. "I think it would be a pity to throw away all the vegetables if they were not sold that day," Wu Huan said. "What do you mean? You mean we lowered the standards?" Zhang Xiangbei looked at Wu Huan and asked. No, I was wondering if there is any other way," Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Wu Huan and laughed, and said, "I have grown vegetables myself, and I know how hard it is to grow vegetables. If all the good vegetables are thrown away, it will not only be a pity, but also a huge waste. According to my grandma, wasting food will be hit by thunder, and the same goes for vegetables. Well, it's all grown by the farmer's hard work, with sweat dripping from the soil." Wu Huan looked at Zhang Xiangbei and felt a little confused, not knowing what he was thinking. "Mr. Zhang, please speak clearly. What you said just now sounds a bit difficult to understand, and the meaning is not clear. Have you changed your mind?" Wu Huan asked. No, Zhang Xiangbei shook his head and continued. "Well, what I mean is that food cannot be wasted, but our fresh home delivery cannot lower the standards. The standards of any company will be distorted during the implementation process. We require very high standards, implement them well, and supervise them level, then at the bottom, 8 or 9 points are good. There is no standard that can be implemented 100%, so here, the standard cannot be lowered. Is it clear?" Wu Huan nodded. I majored in economics, and I also know a truth. All that is wasted on the front end is cost. If the cost is too high, and the company has to maintain reasonable profits, it will inevitably increase the selling price. The higher costs in the front end will eventually be passed on to consumers. In the eyes of consumers, this is the reason why chicken, Mackenzie, and Goo Goo chicken are cheaper than KFC. Moreover, KFC and McDonald's represent the consumption concept of Americans. The per capita consumption of resources by Americans is definitely the highest in the world. They are the largest importing countries in the world. On the other hand, the world, especially the third world, as the country uses its own cheap local resources and labor to support Americans for them to squander. White people feel very good about themselves. They have not yet learned how to look at the world. They take these things for granted. Not only are they not grateful, but they think that their squandering is charity to exporting countries. In their consumption concepts, there is no such word as waste. If people all over the world consumed as much as Americans do, the earth would be overwhelmed long ago. Tell me the important point, Mr. John Wu Huan said. The point is, we can learn a lot of things from them, but we can't copy them mechanically. In our company, the standards must be strict, but waste must also be stopped. Zhang Xiangbei said, this requires you to do one thing. Shall I do it? Wu Huan asked in surprise. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said, yes, you do it, and you immediately find some food experts to help us solve this problem. We can make the vegetables, chicken, duck, and fish that are not delivered into finished products on the same day. My grandma and grandma will do these things, and our customers will also have needs in this regard. For example, meat can be made into bacon and soy sauce meat, barbecued pork, etc. Fish and chicken can be made into cured chicken, cured fish, marinated chicken and fish. Duck can be made into sauce duck, etc. The same goes for vegetables, which can be made into kimchi, pickles, pickled cowpeas, etc. Can even be made into dehydrated vegetables. These are basically manual operations and do not need to add a lot of equipment. Just expand the venue. In this way, our waste will not only be reduced, but these finished products will in turn bring us profits, and our costs can be greatly reduced. Great, Wu Huan understood completely and shouted. Can you find me? Otherwise, I'll call my grandma and grandma here. Zhang Xiangbei asked Wu Huan with a smile, and Wu Huan said, no problem, you have already given the order, and I must carry it out. If you ask me to find the astronauts, I will find a way to help you find them. I will go to other factories, to recruit technical personnel. Zhang Xiangbei said yes. However, Mr. Zhang, there is a problem you want to help me solve, Wu Huan said. What's the problem? Zhang Xiangbei asked. The space here is already very tight, and the warehouses in the entire logistics space are all rented out. I don't know what else to do, Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei said yes, I'll call Master right away to see if he has any suggestions. Zhang Xiangbei immediately called Xiao Wu and asked him how the situation was in Shanghai. Xiao Wu said it was normal. In half an hour, the first batch of delivery vehicles would be ready to leave. However, there was a problem. What's the problem? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Institutional customers are no better than individual customers. In the future, we can just put them in the fresh keeping cabinet. But for institutional customers, no one will receive them in the middle of the night. The delivery must be concentrated at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Now I can only readjust and put some people in the refrigerator. Customers on duty and receiving orders will be given priority for delivery, while others can only be placed in the cold chain truck and wait 2 or 3 hours before departure. As Xiao Wu said, Zhang Xiangbei immediately realized the seriousness of the problem. If he didn't load the truck, he would wait in the workshop. It would be too late to load the truck. And if it was installed in a cold chain truck, the cold chain truck might not be enough. From midnight to early morning, a car can make 3 or 4 trips, but now it can only make 1 trip. After 7 o'clock, it will hit the urban morning rush hour again. Master, are there not enough cold chain trucks? Zhang Xiangbei asked. It's enough now, Xiao Wu said, the second-hand goods are here with me. He has asked the Banmushan base in Hangzhou and Nanjing to mobilize all the cold chain trucks and be ready to support us at any time. What I worry about is that when the delivery starts, there will be conflicts. Originally, I wanted to look at the whole thing tonight and raise this issue tomorrow to see how to solve it. Zhang Xiangbei said yes. He said that we must solve this problem before community distribution starts. If it is not possible, we can only add more trucks and more people. I don't think so. Wu Huan heard from the side and said. The problems we will encounter, such as the morning rush hour problem, these unit customers will encounter before. I think that for most units, every night, they already have people on duty, but there was no one before. We will deliver food to them in the middle of the night. Now let the people on duty help receive the food. It won't be a big problem. I think they can cooperate. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a moment and said to Wu Huan. In this way, let Li Wei and the others contact the customer tomorrow to find out how many units can receive the goods in the middle of the night. At the same time, tell them that if we can arrange to receive the goods in the middle of the night, we will give priority to delivery. Wu Huan and Xiao Wu both agreed. Zhang Xiangbei told Xiao Wu that they wanted to expand the food factory, preferably in the logistics space, and asked him if there was any way at the base. It can be built, Huo said next to Xiao Wu. The bases in Nanjing and Shanghai cover a large area. There is no problem in building another warehouse. Hangzhou is the most troublesome. It already covers the smallest area. We don't dare to build it again. Build it again. If you do, there will be less open space for parking. Originally, after you moved in, the demand for parking space increased. There is no need to build one food factory in every place. Just one in each region is enough. The volume is not that large. In the same area, raw materials can be delivered to the food factory in a centralized manner using cold chain trucks every day, Zhang Xiangbei said. Bei, I remembered a place. You asked the instructor to call, Huo said. Where? Why do you want Dad to call? Zhang Xiangbei asked in surprise. It's right opposite our Hangcheng logistics base, where the idiot named Xie is, Huo said. Yes, that place is the best, Xiao Wu also shouted. Zhang Xiangbei remembered that Huo was talking about the one diagonally opposite Banmushan logistics base. It turned out that Xie Zigong's logistics base had been sealed off ever since Xie Zigong's accident. Zhang Xiangbei also felt that it would be great if they could rent that place as their food base. They could save a lot of management costs. Moreover, it is not good to have the food base and the logistics base together. The most important thing is that not only the houses there are big enough, but the open space is also big enough. For pickled food like this, there are very few equipments. The main thing is that there are many jars and jars, which requires there is a large space for display. At the same time, it is also necessary to have enough drying areas. Now many similar companies, in order to save trouble, use ovens instead of sun drying, but the products made in that way are not as delicious as those made in the sun, such as bacon and bacon. When the sauced meat is baked in the oven, not only will the aroma be reduced a lot, but the skin of the meat will also be hard and it will not rot no matter how you steam or stew it. Xie Zigong's logistics base was sealed by the provincial military region. If they wanted to rent it, they would definitely come to them. That's why the second-rate boss said that he asked Zhang Xiangbei to find Zhang Chen, and naturally he asked Zhang Chen to find Huang Jianren. Putting down the phone, Zhang Xiangbei looked at the time. It was almost 12 o'clock. Zhang Chen and the others should have gone to bed, but he decided to call his dad immediately. Zhang Xiangbei picked up his mobile phone and dialed, but he heard a phone ringing in the corridor at the door. When Zhang Xiangbei was confused, he heard someone calling outside. Bai Bei, where are you? Zhang Xiangbei's face lit up with joy. He hurried to the door and saw Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang leading Zhang Xiangzi. Zhang Xiangbei shouted, "Why are you here? Today is your first day, why don't we come over and take a look?" Zhang Chen said. Zixi overheard that we were coming to see you, and she refused to sleep no matter how much she was coaxed, so we had no choice but to bring her over, Xiao Fang said with a smile. You also said that I haven't seen Bai Bei for a long time. Zhang Xiangzi shouted loudly and rushed towards Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei bent down and opened his arms to wait. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you, Dragon, Fantasy in the Wind, Distressed Brother Ming, Zipanjiang 1, On the Road to Nation, Win San Liu, Forgot Password, and Start Again, Heart Dances, and, How, Robin Granite, Sand and Dust Mood, Beijing Faihe, Xiaowang, Sinful Orchid Finger Monthly Pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 1971. Bai Bei, if you don't go home, even your grandma and grandma will come here, Xiao Fang and Zhang Xiangbei said. Zhang Xiangbei chuckled and said, I will definitely go home tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Zhang Xiangzi stretched out a pair of small hands, turned Zhang Xiangbei's face over, looked at it carefully, and then nodded solemnly. When I go back, I will tell my grandma and grandma that Bai Bei has not lost weight and is the same as before, so they can rest assured. Everyone laughed. Zhang Chen and Zhang Xiangbei also said to Wu Huan, no matter how busy you are, you should make time for yourself to rest. When you start a company, there are so many things to do. If you are busy, you can stay up for 10 days and 10 nights and you will still be too busy. Don't be impatient. Problems will be solved day by day. Yes, you must learn to arrange your time reasonably and don't fight a battle of fatigue and attrition. Otherwise, if the time goes on, your body will not be able to bear it, and the gain will outweigh the loss. Wu Huan nodded. Zhang Xiangbei scratched the back of his neck and asked Zhang Chen, when you started your business, did you arrange your time properly? Zhang Chen suddenly became embarrassed, and everyone else laughed. Zhang Chen said, we were just a small workshop at that time, how can we compare with you? Then we have a greater responsibility and don't dare to stop, Wu Huan said with a smile. Xiao Fang asked how the situation was today. Wu Huan told her. Xiao Fang nodded and said, it's pretty good. It should be better than expected, right? Wu Huan is right. Have you encountered any difficulties? Xiao Fang asked. We have prepared for the worst, but so far, it is better than we expected, Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei and Zhang Chen Xiao Fang talked about their plans to set up a food factory to digest the vegetables they did not sell every day. Zhang Chen himself was almost overwhelmed by inventory. He knew the impact of digesting inventory on a company. Moreover, vegetables are no more important than clothing. Their freshness period is too short, but if there is not an appropriate amount every day, it will not be able to meet the needs of customers. The idea mentioned by Zhang Xiangbei is indeed the best way for them to convert their daily surplus. Zhang Xiangbei and Zhang Chen told Zhang Xiangbei that there was no more space here and that they wanted to rent Xiezaigong's building across the street to build a new material warehouse. Zhang Chen thought about it and said to Zhang Xiangbei, in this way, I will ask Huang Jianren to call the provincial military region tomorrow to ask. The logistics space over there has more than 50 acres of land. Your food factory can't use that much house. It can only use a third of it at most. It would be a waste to leave it empty. It's better for us to rent the entire half-acre of land. When the remaining warehouses are sublet, I will ask the general manager here to take note and arrange the storage of relevant food companies there, so that there will be no conflict with you. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei both felt that if this was the case, that would be the best. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Thank you, Dad." Zhang Xiangzi also shouted, "Thank you, Dad." Zhang Chen looked at Zhang Xiangzi and asked, "What are you thanking me for?" "Thank you for helping Bai Bei," Zhang Xiangzi said. Everyone laughed again. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Then I want to thank Zixi." "You're welcome. I'm your sister, so I should," Zhang Xiangzi said. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Then I am his father, so I should." Zhang Xiangzi looked at Zhang Chen with wide eyes, thought for a while and said, "Then thank me for coming back." Zhang Chen and Xiaofang were going to take a look below. Zhang Xiangzi wanted to ride on Zhang Xiangbei's shoulders. Zhang Xiangbei took out a piece of his own clothes from the cabinet, put it on Zhang Xiangzi, and told her that it was cold down there, so don't got a cold. Zhang Xiangzi was wearing Zhang Xiangbei's clothes. The clothes were too long, and the hem and sleeves were almost dragging to the ground. She thought it was very funny. Zhang Xiangbei squatted down, and Zhang Xiangzi climbed onto Zhang Xiangbei's shoulders, with his hands hanging down and his sleeves free. For a long time, Zhang Xiangzi was waving his sleeves on Zhang Xiangbei's shoulders, like water sleeves, giggling non-stop. At 5 o'clock in the morning, the last cold chain truck was sent out. The first day of work was over. Zhang Chen and Wu Huan organized online meetings in Shanghai, Nanjing, and Hangzhou. Although we didn't sleep at night, everyone's eyes were bright and their faces were full of excitement. Zhang Xiangbei told everyone that they have worked hard, but this has just begun. For us, the bigger test will be when community distribution starts. At the meeting, Wu Huan particularly emphasized the issue of reasonable time arrangements for each company and department. Their Zician Delivery is a company that must operate 24 hours a day. The highlight is at night, but it also does not work during the day. If you are idle, customers will not care whether you want to take a break or not. They will only place orders based on their own needs. As long as customers place an order, they must deliver it immediately. When community fresh food delivery is officially launched, this situation will become more common. The community must be delivered several times a day, and the vegetables that travel long distances every day will cost several times. The departure and arrival times of vegetable trucks will also be reasonably arranged by the dispatch center throughout the day to minimize the time waiting for unloading. Even in the workshop below them, they have to work in 3 shifts. After the meeting, although both Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei emphasized the need to arrange their time reasonably, after the meeting, they themselves did not go home. They just slept on the sofa in the office for a few hours. Get up soon. After the Zician delivery unit customers officially started delivery, they will immediately carry out community promotion activities in 3 cities. For their fresh food delivery, traditional TV and newspaper advertisements no longer have any effect. How many people still watch TV and newspapers now? For them, the most direct thing is that starting from today, their fresh delivery app advertisement will appear in the elevators of all community buildings until October 20th. Send their fresh delivery app directly to the eyes of every resident who goes up and down the stairs. In this way, many people will take out their mobile phones and scan their QR codes in the elevator. Advertisements for their app will also appear on the crossbars at the entrance and exit of the underground parking lot of the community, and fresh food delivery will also appear on the community's bulletin board. Their fresh delivery advertisements will also appear on various FM radio stations. At one time, radio advertisements were almost forgotten by people. Everyone thought that radio was already an industry that was about to decline and be eliminated, but they did not expect that, with the popularity of private cars, urban FM radio stations have made a resurgence. Coupled with the congestion of urban roads, not many people are in the mood to listen to music while driving. Most people listen to the radio while driving. According to a survey by the advertising company that Zhang Xiangbei and their partners work with, the current effectiveness of radio advertising is actually it has surpassed TV advertising. Their Zician delivery salesperson will also go deep into the communities he is responsible for and conduct promotional tours. During the promotion, a fresh keeping cabinet will be placed next to it to teach everyone, especially elderly customers, how to use it. In addition to their home delivery website, they also distribute product foldouts to every household every week, with ordering phone numbers on them. This is for the convenience of the elderly who do not know how to use computers and apps. Place your order by phone. When salesmen go to the community to promote, they will bring their menu and vegetable price list for the day. Those who have just returned from the vegetable market with vegetable baskets will look at their menus, look at the dishes in their hands, and then look at the menu. Zhang Xiangbei felt that they would definitely have a surprised expression. Li Wei's customer center has been calling their contracted units since 9 o'clock in the morning. First, they ask for their opinions on the dishes and delivery services of Zician delivery. The customers who received their calls all told them, not bad, very satisfied. Many customers told their customer service that they originally placed the order with the intention of giving it a try, but they didn't expect to receive it today. The food is very fresh and the price is so cheap. It's great. I will order from you on a long-term basis in the future. The customer service then asked the customer if it was possible to arrange for someone to receive the goods at night. If so, we would give priority to delivering the goods to you. Sure enough, as Wu Huan expected, these units already have people on duty at night, so the people on duty can arrange to receive the goods. Of course, there is no problem, it is a piece of cake. When Wu Huanlei told Zhang Xiangbei about this, Zhang Xiangbei breathed a sigh of relief. At around 10 o'clock, Zhang Xiangbei received a call from Zhang Chen and told him that the provincial military region had already contacted him. They agreed to rent the land and warehouse to us for the warehouse opposite for 20 years for the time being. When there are documents on it that can be transferred, transfer them to us. I'll go over here in the afternoon to sign the agreement, Zhang Chen and Zhang Xiangbei said. Zhang Xiangbei said, that's great, thank you Dad. Zhang Xiangbei walked to Wu Huan's office and told Wu Huan about the matter. Wu Huan was very happy to hear it. She said, why did she feel like everything was ready? Just as she was talking, Wu Huan's phone rang. It was a WeChat video. She glanced at Zhang Xiangbei and said, it's Wenwen. Which Wenwen? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Xiao Wenwen, Wu Huan said. The two Wenwen were in contact with them every day. It was too complicated to talk about. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei distinguished them. Wenwen from Ningyuan was older, so they called her De Wenwen, who was sent to Beijing. It was called Xiao Wenwen, and similarly, it was also divided into De Qianqian and Xiao Qianqian. Wu Huan pressed receive, and Wenwen's face appeared on the screen, and Wenwen shouted. Mr. Wu, you guys were great yesterday. Is Mr. Zhang here? Wu Huan said yes, he happened to be in my office. When Zhang Xiangbei heard this, he hurried over and waved to Wenwen. Wenwen shouted, okay, the two bosses are here. You are welcome to review all the employees of our Beijing branch. Wenwen pulled the camera away, and Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan were startled. They saw more than 30 men and women in the camera, lined up in 3 neat lines. Everyone bowed to them and said, hello, Mr. Zhang. Hello, Mr. Wu. Then, starting from the first person on the right side of the first row, each one reported his or her name, age, and where else they were from. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan couldn't believe their eyes. How much time had passed for Wenwen, and the business license of their Beijing branch hadn't even been issued yet, and she had already pulled out such a team. This was too fast. Bar. Wenwen said to them, today is their first day to work. In the afternoon, I will divide them into groups, then train them and divide them into areas for each group. Starting from tomorrow, let them start working. Mr. Zhang and Wu, anyway, I have a suggestion. Zhang Xiangbei nodded, you say. Can we in Beijing and Tianjin do the same as you in Hangzhou, starting with the unit customers? In this case, I will first arrange for them to sweep the streets, like a grate to comb hair, sweep the streets for me, and sweep those units. I pick them out like lice one by one. What metaphor? Wen Wen said. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan both laughed. Wu Huan looked at Zhang Xiangbei nodded, and Wu Huan said, "Okay, I will ask the technical center to give you a set of account numbers and passwords. In this way, when you go to other people's work, you can open our website to them, and they can see the products and prices on our website." "Okay, this is best. Here comes a magical weapon," Wen Wen said. "Also, I will send people from the engineering department to set off today to plan the construction of workshops in Beijing and Tianjin." Wu Huan and Wen Wen said that Wen Wen moved so fast that Wu Huan felt that he was being driven away by her, and she had to move faster. Thank you to book friends 201703031958399050, The Chair in the World, Changsha Hughes Hung, Wind Jungle Spinach, Sand Mood, Sinful Orchid Finger, and Tianying 1978 for your monthly pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone.